extra long team meeting. Leppa, what was the message to the boys?
I wouldn't say extra long. It's just, unfortunately, I was double booked. And we put this on in the meeting at 9:30. But no, it was good. No, the boys are in a good headspace and ready to take the game, so that's a good thing.
Errors killed you again last week. Has that been a real focus this week, preparing for the QClash?
Yeah, it's hard to focus on skill errors. I guess it's a training thing and it's a execution thing and a confidence thing. So we have to keep on that path. I want to keep encouraging the boys to play an attacking brand. I think that works for us. But you're right, our turnover differential has pretty much been our season to date. Played some pretty good opposition that have made us pay as well. So it's twofold. You've got to make the error and they've got to make you pay. So look, we're working on our end of it. I know if we fix up that part of our game, we'll score more, and that's the part of the game we're looking at.
Is it frustrating that it's not rocket science? You know where it's going wrong, but you can't quite fix it.
Well, sometimes it takes some time, Belle. It's some things you can fix short term. Some take some time and take some composure and experience and a few cracks at it. And that's where we are. We're a pretty young footy club, and what that basically means is that they haven't had enough experience, like anything in life. They need a bit more time out there, the boys. So as you see with their changes, we're not into sort of make wholesale changes and sort of rip the footy club apart and change our direction. We want to keep a steady ship and keep putting our boys out there.
Do you have to cast your mind back to what it was like when you started and then
no doubt. I mean, I've lived this system as a young player and as an assistant coach and now a senior coach, so it can be frustrating the early years, but they're quickly forgotten once you climb the ladder. So it's just a process of continual improvement basically, and keep our coaches and players motivated to improve and keep accepting the challenge.
Is that the tough bit, the motivation? Sorry.
Which one? Sorry.
Is the motivation the tough bit?
No, the boys are up and about. They're good. I think the boys are very clear where we sit as a footy club, and the beauty is that they've taken responsibility for what they can do as well, and working hard on the track to improve. So I'm conscious of that, and we have to keep motivation up to continually improve and not get to despair because you're counting wins and losses. I don't think we can do that as a footy club as yet. So we have to keep realistic, and the boys are doing that, working hard, which is good, and results will come.
What have you said to Mitch Robinson this week, leading into QClash?
Mitch Robinson, you guys got to get your stuff together today. There's a lot of going. No, you had a roster, one at a time. What do I say to Mitch Robinson? Continue his aggression, really. I mean, that's the hallmark of his game. But like anything, there's a tipping point with all of our strengths in life. So he has to monitor those. The last thing we want is Mitch getting suspended, that's for sure. He's more valuable out in the footy field for us. So he knows that. We sometimes just need to get better triggers, don't we, when our emotions take a hold of us, and Mitch works on those sorts of things as well. We still don't want to lose that aggressive part of his game.
Have you noticed how chirpy the Gold Coast has been this week? It's been quite good fun, hasn't it? Stephen May was up.
No, I don't overly keep an eye on it, to be perfectly honest. There's a lot of chirping. Yeah, look, there's a bit of chirp come from down there. They're going pretty well, so it's good for them. They'd be feeling pretty happy and probably expecting to come up and belt us. So that's the way they'll be probably thinking down there. And we just got to do our thing. Let's be honest. I think most of the games won because of what you can control as a footy club, not worrying about what the opposition say or do.
You talk about the win-loss, obviously, no need to go into perhaps. But it's funny, this sort of game, often the form goes out the window. I talk about headspace and attitude. It could be a really, really good contest, isn't it?
Oh, it does, and it's always about the contest. And for us, it's about winning that contested ball number 2, which we haven't done and haven't had a good record in years, to be honest. So it's a real focus of ours, and it's a training track focus, let's be honest, contested footy, and we've been doing that, but it has to soak into games, and we have to get better at it within games. So that's a real, something the group wants to get. Probably doesn't help our skippers out who's good in that area as well, and Beamsy is good in that area. So we've got a few that are actually pretty good in that area that aren't quite there at the moment, but we still have to have even contribution from everyone in that area. I don't get worried about that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'd like them there, but you can't worry about the uncontrollables. There's some uncontrollables in this job, like injuries, set shot goal kicking, things like that. that as a coach you can put in there and encourage the boys and keep them focused, but it's an uncontrollable, so it doesn't really help worrying about it. So we just have to move on and get on with the job. But we still, like Gold Coast, have 22 players this week and 22 hungry players too that want to win. So that's the important bit.
Do you expect Richie to get tagged, given the success North Melbourne had tagging him in round 2?
Who knows? But we've got mechanisms in place if any player gets tagged. We just have to be good at implementing those, and that's the key to it. Whether he does or doesn't, we'll find out, I guess, on Saturday.
Obviously, Ablett's very dangerous, but someone like Aaron Hall too is quite lethal too on the outside.
Yeah, they've been very good. Their midfield group, and Hall's obviously jumped up. This time last year he was playing reserves footy, and now he's sort of one of their key cogs 12 months later. So it's been very impressive individually from him to turn his career around to be an important player. So look, they got some stars through that part of the ground, and no bigger than Gazza. So we've got some plans in place there. I won't tell you what they are, Davo, but we've got some plans in place there.
It's this sort of game that we can turn your season around. It can, with emotion and like the momentum and stuff. That we always hear that word now in any sort of code. Momentum, you get a win up and you're away. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're searching for a win as a footy club. We know that winning's everything as far as buoyancy around a footy club, and you can have honourable losses and go, geez, if we're just accurate today, you never know what happens. But it doesn't change the fact that people just like fans, players, coaches like just seeing that W next to however you fight and scrap it out. People will take an ugly win over a pretty loss, and we just have to find that win, and hopefully it kickstarts this week.
Well, people turn out, the crowds aren't bad because they know you're having a dig, and that's one thing you can't dispute, I suppose. That's what people see out in the field. Yeah.
It is, and look, our scoring rate's pretty good. Our accuracy rate's very poor. But I think we're 10th in shots for this year, so we're actually getting the shots, which is good. We haven't capitalised on those, and just some of the better teams we've played have made us pay back the other way for our errors. So that's it in a nutshell as the season goes. But yeah, so we know what we need to improve on. It's a matter of just staying the course and doing that.
Yeah, number one on that, aren't they? Inside 50 conversion. The Gold Coast are the best in the league, so they're doing something right.
Yeah, they are. And look, we're not too bad ourselves, to be honest. At converting inside 50, our accuracy is a bit of an issue and has been the last couple of weeks. So we have to get that right to give us a chance. If you go to Cardinia Park and you're sitting 2 goals 9 to 8 goals 2 in the second quarter, you know it's not going to. We're not at the luxury to fight back from scores like that. We have to do our bit when we get the chance, take our chances, and keep us emotionally involved in the game.